from Jen's Stitching Niche. I'm back for an update video. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd. And I know it's been a while since my last video. I've been kind of busy, having fun. I went to Mississippi to visit family in May, and then I went to a conference in May, and then I went on a trip with my husband last week through Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska, and it was absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful country. But I have been doing quite a bit of stitching, other crafting too, but today I'm just going to show you my cross stitching. And actually I'm going to do a WIP parade. So I'll start with some of the finishes that I've had since my last video. One of the finishes is one of my older WIPs. I think I started this in 2022. No, probably before that. Let's see. Maybe I messed up on this. Maybe 2022. We'll go with that. That's long enough. But it's Pumpkin Brew by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Let me fold this again so you can see. It is kind of ghosty on this fabric. It's not the best, but I did the 25/7 using this as in May and June, and actually got it finished, and it's really cute. It's stitched on a piece of Fabrics by Stephanie. I was in her Fabric of the Month club, and this is one of the pieces that I got. It's 36 count. So my plan for that is to finish it as a pillow. We'll see. Another set of finishes I have is the new Grand Old Flag 2 by Brenda Gervais. And I did these kind of in a 25/7, but I finished all three of them, stitching them. I just need to make them into pillows. So this is the first one. So again, this is Grand Old Flag 2 by Brenda Gervais. Here's the second one. And the third one. And I used, instead of the called for linen, I used 36 count Mayflower from Fox and Rabbit. And I used the called for gray and red, but the blue is actually a Victorian motto. Is that it? Victorian motto? Yeah. Substitution for the cadet, I think was what it was supposed to be. But they turned out really cute. And if I have a chance today, I'll finish those into pillows. But I haven't put out any of my decorations because my kids moved all of their stuff into our crawl space in front of all of my boxes of decorations. So, and I'm too lazy to move their boxes to get to my boxes. But I'll finish those and we'll see. And then my last finish to share with you is a Just Nan. This is Haunted Autumn Mouse in a House. And before I had worked on this in May and June, I had finished the mouse. And then you have to do the outside bottom, the inside bottom, and then the 4 triangles. And I think I had 2 of the bottom, the squares done, but I have them all done now. I just have to assemble it. So here is. And it's on a piece of 32 count natural or something like that. But these are really easy. It took like maybe 1 day to work on one of these, 2 days. But really cute. I can't wait to assemble it. And then I have the mouse. Here he is. I just have to put them together. So, and the instructions are really good. And it comes with the finishing supplies. So that shouldn't take very long if I'll just sit down and do it. So over the course of the past few months, I've been working on rotations. So I will work on a project for 7 days. And that's actually been very helpful. Even when I was traveling, I was getting a lot of work done on those. But I still have more WIPs than I need. Of course, you know, back in 2016, I had over 100 WIPs. So now 18, I feel like I'm not doing so bad. So what I'll do is I'm going to pause, and then I will show you my WIPs in order of kind of when I started them. So the newest ones you'll see at the very end. I am in a different place because my craft room is a disaster area, and pretty much every spot in my house is a disaster area. I'm sitting at the end of our dining room table. It's the only place you can't see. When you're gone for, let's see, from the past 2 months, I was gone probably a month. It looks bad in here, but we'll get it under control. So, okay, so I have 18 WIPs to show you. Some of them are very old. We're going to start with my oldest one. And those of you who've been watching, you've seen this way more times than you should, but we're getting close to a finish. So my oldest WIP is Splendor of Florals. This was a series that was published in Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I always look it up. It started in 2010. So I started this in February of 2014 is my best estimate. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 32 count, I think it's antique white, but here's my progress. Dun, dun, dun. So what I'm working on right now is the poppies, this set. So I just have a little bit down here to finish. Whoop. And then I have to do the back stitching. So the way I'm doing this is I'm actually going one row at a time, and kind of like the way that people who do full coverage work, and I'm actually getting things finished a lot faster. But I worked on that May, June, and July, I think. But I should have it finished. Possibly, I did a lot of this yesterday, and maybe I can get it done by the 5th. And if I can get this one completed, then I'm going to come down here and finish this border. And then I'll start the next one in August. But isn't it beautiful? I mean, it's so pretty. It's all DMC, except for the border is a water lily, Karen water lily, I believe. So I'm not doing a very good job because I'm trying to look at the picture and I'm using the wrong hands. There's the violets are probably my favorite. So if I stay on point as well as I've done this year, I might have this finished February or March of next year. We will see. Jenny, I'm working so hard. Okay, so that's my oldest WIP, WIP number 1. Let me put it over there. I keep it in this So Much to Love bag. I love hydrangeas. We just planted 3 hydrangeas in our backyard, and I hope they survive. So pretty. All right, you'll see a lot of So Much to Love bags because those are my favorite, but I do have a couple other project bags as well. Now, my next WIP is Croaking Toad Manor from Praiseworthy Stitches. I started this in November of 2016. Sorry if that Velcro's making noise. And I have done nothing on this year. I actually thought I was going to completely quit, but I didn't do that. So this is Croaking Toad Manor. I picked up the chart and the fabric at a Silver Needle retreat with my sister Bridget and my sister Sharon, and Teresa, I think, was there. And Bridget and I were going to stitch it together. It's on 32 count Mystic from Picture This Plus. And that's my progress. So I've got pretty much the bottom done. Now I'm getting into the house, and that house, look at it. It's just solid stitching. That's probably why I'm kind of like, meh. But I'm not going to work on it this year, but I will pick it up next year. It will become my Splendor of Florals after I finish it. So it is in a project bag that Teresa made me. She and I did a project bag exchange one year, and that's one of the ones she gave me. Oops, sorry. Okay, so that one is still on my WIP list, though I haven't stitched on it at all this year. Okay, and then my next one is another similar situation. It's an older WIP. I started this in December of 2016. And it's actually got 12 parts to it. I'm trying not to make too much noise. It is the 12 Days of Christmas by Jim Shore. I've completed this one, and it's actually my Christmas decoration. So it's in those boxes that I can't get to that I was mentioning earlier. But what I did is, in the course of 12 days, starting on the 21st of December, I started each one of these. So, and I'm stitching them on perforated paper. So here's day 2. So not too much left. I just have some stuff here to do. Let me do it this way. But you'll see as the days go by, less is done. There's day 3, 4. The colors are beautiful. It's just I'm not enjoying stitching on perforated paper. Day 5. I think if I could find one of those, have y'all seen the new wooden frames? I know that several people have shown them. Is it Amy Loves Toads was showing those wooden frames? Maybe that would help me. I don't know. Day 6. Promise this is day 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, and I haven't even started 12. So, but I have not worked on this at all this year. Probably will not work on it at all this year, but it's still on my WIP list. So next up is my WIP number 4. This is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. It's by Stacy Nash. I started this one on February 17th of 2017. And I'm stitching it on a piece of, I think this is 40 count cedar plank by Lakeside Linen. And that's my progress. I do like stitching on it. I don't know why I haven't done more. There's so many other things I'm stitching on, I guess. But I love Stacy Nash's borders. Her borders are beautiful. Look at that. So this is actually the newest addition to my rotation. So I will actually stitch on it for an entire week during July and every month until I finish it. Okay, next up is another one that I haven't worked on at all this year and do not plan on working on it. Kind of has a story to it. These projects that require a lot, I'm keeping these little bins. I think I got these at Sam's years ago. But this is a chatelaine. It's the Poison Garden mandala. I started this on February 9th, 2022, so it was a birthday start. My birthday is February 9th. And I have done this much. The thing is that, first of all, if you've done a mandala, chatelaine, sometimes the symbols look the same. So I've done more than this. I've just had to take it out because I used the wrong color. And then I bought this chart at Market years ago. And when I started getting into some of the detailed work, I couldn't find it because it was missing the instructions. It just had the chart and the color list, but it didn't tell you how to do which stitches and things like that. So I had to rebuy the chart. So that's my progress on the chatelaine, which I probably will not work on again, or will not work on at all this year. And then my next WIP is similar situation. I'm finding that my older ones, I either work on them a lot or don't work on them at all. Is a Mirabilia. It's Feather Fairy. My intention is to stitch this for my son's girlfriend, Brittany, because it looks like her. Doesn't that, those of you that know Brittany, doesn't that look like Brittany? But let me see. This is all I have done. And I'm stitching on a piece of 28 count Silk Weaver Lugana. I don't know the color, but it's a beautiful fabric. It's older. My sister Sharon and I both were in the Silk Weaver Fabric of the Month Club before the current owner had it, and we got just beautiful fabric. But that is my lack of progress. I do not have plans on stitching on this one this year either. Okay, so that puts me at 2022. Early 2022 was when I started this. I don't remember the exact date. Now we're going to get into some newer WIPs that I've shown more progress on. All right, so WIP number 7. So these next few that I'm going to show are actually I've started in 2023, so they're a little newer. This first one is a project that I started with Abby Bella Stitch, and I had big plans, Abby, to finish this, but I kind of fell to the wayside. But it is a ABC Horn book by the Primitive Needle. And I started this in January of 2023, and I'm stitching it on a piece of, this is fabric from Teresa from Kitten Stitcher, but I don't know what the name of it is. But that's as far as I've gotten. It's a 40 count. Do I have the tag in here? Oh, I do. It's called 40 count Earl Grey. And I'm just using the called for threads, which is a lot of weeks. So this is actually in a project bag that I made myself. So it's cute. It's not as good as So Much to Love. They're my favorite. Okay. Next up is, oh, I got lost. Tapestry of Stitches by Jeanette Douglas. This was part of a Sampler Guild of the Rockies retreat project. So we had this in March of last year, and I started it, and I've been working on this one as part of my rotation. So I spent a week stitching, and honestly it took me like a week to do this, and then a week to do a lot of this. But I'm down here. I'm close to a finish, but I'm at the part that takes the most, that's the most tedious. So this is on a piece of 36 count fabric. I think it's light exemplar Lakeside linen, I believe. But that's my progress. But that band of the white stitching, I have struggled. I've done it twice and taken it out twice. There's supposed to be a line between the outer diamond and the inside diamond. I cannot get it to line up, so I'm just not doing it. But I only have 4 of those left, and then I've got the bottom border and the Bargello to do, which is fun. But I love Jeanette Douglas's pieces. Right now I'm looking at a wall that's only Jeanette Douglas. I told my husband, I'm like, you would think that that's the only thing I stitch. I have a lot of her stuff. And her instructions are wonderful. Just takes me, I just can't figure out. I made a mistake. I know it has happened. In the outer diamonds, I made a mistake. And because of that, I can't correct the inner lines that I'm supposed to do. This is a So Much to Love bag. I'll talk about my So Much to Love obsession in just a minute. Okay, next is another one that I've been working on my weekly rotation. Sorry, my throat just... All right, so next up, that would be project number 9 is Painted Flowers by Shakespeare's Peddler. I started this in July of last year, and it is probably one of the most difficult things I've stitched. I've taken to using my iPad, so I take a picture of the chart and then blow it up, and that way I can highlight, because it's supposed to look like it's painted flowers, and that makes it a little more difficult to stitch, but it is well worth the effort because it is absolutely beautiful. This is stitched on a piece of 40 count Black Forest from Lakeside Linen using DMC. I know there's one color, I think Corn Silk or Corn Husk, one of those two, but I'm using the DMC conversion. But it is absolutely beautiful. And you can see that I'm close to a finish. I have just this portion here to do. So I'll spend a week next week stitching on this one. We'll see how far I get. And it lives in my, this was my very first So Much Love bag. Okay, and then next is my current 25/7 piece. I love fall most of all. This was a exclusive to Brenda's website. It came with all the accoutrement for this. I think you can now get the chart through Country Stitches in Spring Green. I believe you can get it through there. But I've been working on this quite a bit this week. It's on a piece of 40 count. Do I know the name of it? I think it is one of the fabrics I got from, I don't know where it came from, but it's pretty. I struggled at first and kept putting it away because of this stuff right here, but once you get kind of the pattern, it's easier. But it's going to be so cute. So again, I'm stitching on this 25 minutes a day, 7 days a week until I finish it. And another So Much Love bag. Now we're to the projects that I've started in 2024. And first up is my snow stitch. This is an idea that I got from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, where I will stitch on a project on days that it snows. Since I've moved to Colorado, that gives me more time to stitch on these. I'm working on Christmas Rider from the Santa Remembered book, Leisure Art book. Sorry, there's Sally again. And this is my progress so far. And I actually could stitch on this a couple of days because I missed some snow days. But it's on a piece of, I don't think this is silk weaver. This is Under the Sea fabric. I can't remember the name of it, but it is beautiful. I love the fabric. I think it's going to look great on this fabric. I'm seeing if I have the tag in here. I don't. But I'm not going to be stitching on this for a while because it's summertime and we don't have any snow. Okay, I started that in January of this year. On February 29th, on Leap Day, I started this next project. This is Vintage Charm Pin Keep from Scattered Seed Samplers. I'm in her club. I've been in it for 3 or 4 years, and I've done several of them, but I just love this one. And I've worked a little bit. I've gotten that much done. And this will probably work into one of those 25/7. It's 36 count vintage country mocha with DMC. And the kits come with everything to finish it, so that's really cute. This is a bag that I made myself years and years ago. Actually, this is my very first project bag I made using the So Much to Love style. And then next is a March start. This was from Market this year, Pumpkin Lane Sampler. I just love this. I think the colors are beautiful. I'm stitching it on a piece of, what is this? 32 count 18th century Blackbird, and that's my progress. I love grays and yellows together, so this just made me happy, particularly when you see the flosses because they're dinky dye silks. I have it's kind of a nest in there, but that's embarrassing, Jennifer. But they're really pretty colors. I love that orange and I love that yellow, just pretty. So hopefully I'll be able to stitch on that during like August and September because it is so pretty. Look at it. Shouldn't take too long. I started that one, like I said, in, when did I start that? March of 2024. And here's another So Much to Love bag. Love my So Much to Love bags. And next is the first of my failed stitch mania. I was going to start a new project each day and stitch in May, and I didn't do it. So, but I did start some. First up is the needlework accoutrement. This was a part of a retreat with Brenda Gervais at Farm Girl Retreat. So there's 2 parts to it. That's part 1. And this is the other part. So I started one on May 1st and one on May 3rd. That's my progress on the pin cushion, which is close to a finish. I mean, I could probably work on that in a couple of days and have it finished. And the other part's going to take me a little bit longer. That's with all this Bargello. That's my progress. This came with everything, so I'm using the kit materials, which is, looks like an R&R fabric. Let me see if I can see which fabric. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. But, and then it's, like I said, everything was included, including the instructions. So that was my May 1st and May 3rd starts in a Teresa bag. All right, now we're down to the last 4. These were all starts in May. And the next one is part of the, what is it called? A Little Help from Our Friends Stitching Circle from Silver Needle. So I signed up for that this year. This was one of the charts, Flowers and Friendships by the Scarlet House. And I've only stitched on this a couple of days. So that's it. This is a Weeks Dye Works gray, probably 36 or 32 count. 36 count tin roof. And I'm using all of the called for threads. Oh, I have to show you this because I'm just so proud of myself. So the way I do my threads now is I get them set up on a thread card. But look at this thread card that I made. This actually came out of one of the Daphne's Diary books. So I cut it out and then I laminated it because I bought a laminator because of, who was it that influenced that? It's So Kelly Co. and Kathy Haberman. It's the reason I have my own laminator. But I laminated it, punched holes, and now I have the cutest thread card. And pretty much all of my projects now, this is how I'm doing things so that I can keep all of my threads in my master set. And I'm not going and getting extra threads that I don't need. I did a big purge on my threads. I actually made sure I had one of everything in my DMC, and I got rid of all my other DMC. So much to love. Love my so much to love. Okay. Next is another scattered seed. This was Sweetness of Spring Pin Keep. So this is in the 2024 club. It's every one of these they're on a 36 count vintage country mocha or country mocha. So that's my progress. It's all DMC, comes with the kit. I really like stitching on this one. I've been working on, okay, let me tell you this. So we go to concerts as much as we can. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's interesting. So my husband decided he really wanted to go to this one performance at Red Rocks, and it was called Heilung. It is a kind of Viking metal rock, not metal rock, I wouldn't call it that. Interesting, it was interesting. And the opener was actually the performer who wrote and performed the opener to the Last Kingdom series. So when I heard the song, which I loved her performance, it was amazing. I'm like, what's this Last Kingdom? So I purged, what is that? Isn't that what they call it? Anyway, I watched the entire series during the month of May, and this was one that I stitched on quite a bit. I know you're going, quite a bit, but I stitched on this while I was watching The Last Kingdom. So if you know about that band, if you want to look it up, it's Heilung, was the main performing group, performance group. It was very interesting. I had a great time. But later that week, I was doing my last faculty meeting of the year. So I'm presenting to everybody, telling them, you know, have a good summer, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I closed with a picture that my husband had taken at Red Rocks, not of the concert, but just of Red Rocks. It was gorgeous. And one of my faculty members, she's like, when did you take that picture? I'm like, oh, we took that picture last night. She goes, you were there last night? I was like, yeah. She said, were you hiking? I'm like, no, we were at a concert. She's like, you were at that concert? I was like, were you at that concert? She's like, no, I wasn't at that concert. So then she's like, Jennifer, I have a whole new perspective of you. I'm like, I love to experience different things. So it was a great concert. We had so much fun. This is a project bag that my sister Sharon made. We used to do this stitch camp thing where it was like 5 of us would go away for like 4 weeks. And because it was Girl Scout camp, we got badges. I got the wine badge. Okay. And then next up is a chart that was from the Homespun Needlework Cross-Stitch Facebook group. It's called Homespun Needlework Cross-Stitch and Samplers. That's the group that you can do. Julie Corsave is the administrator, and they put together the exclusives. So I actually got the Rose Hill Farm Sampler and Pin Keeps. I started this on May 5th of this year, and I'm using the Call for fabrics, which, does she put it on there? No. Yes. 36 count needle bling linen broom grass. Broom grass. And that's as far as I've gotten. But again, it's one of those beautiful borders that she has. I love her borders. So. And I'll just put that there. One of my Teresa bags. And my last and most recent WIP is another of A Little Help from Our Friends from Silver Needle. It's Friendship Blooms from Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitching. I started this on May 6th, and that's as far as I've gotten. So, does it have the fabric? This is 36 count Cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim. And it's Weeks Dye Works for this. So, and last project bag is another Teresa bag. So those are my 18 WIPs, which is pretty impressive considering in 2016 I had over 100 WIPs. But I have finished or have gotten rid of many of those. So that's my mid-year WIP parade for 2024. All right, just a couple of more things before I wrap up this video. So I've talked about and kept mentioning my So Much to Love bag obsessions, which I love these bags. The reason I love these bags is this is the container that I keep my WIPs in. I got it at a TJ Maxx years ago. I have 2 of them. Now I only need 1. And these bags fit perfectly in this little box. The other thing is that with each one of these, I'm moving around a lot, sorry. I always get the little sidekick so it holds all of my scissors and a pencil and the threads and things. So it's everything is just kitted very nicely. So I've been obsessing about these and have ordered quite a few in the past year, and finally I'm part of the So Much to Love bag subscription. So I get one each month. I'm so happy. But everyone knows about So Much to Love, but if you don't, she has an amazing set of bags, and I'll just link her Etsy shop below. The other thing I wanted to do is to do a couple of giveaways. So I have some charts and then some finished projects to give away. So first off, for giveaways, please don't say anything about when. anything that indicates that you are hoping to get something. So if you're like, I hope I win, or I really hope that you give me this or whatever, I'm going to delete the comment. Just, you know, make the statement or put the word that I mentioned in your comment, but please don't say anything about giveaways, because it's just, don't do it. Okay. So the first giveaway is a sampler company chart. When I order from her, she always sends me extra charts, so I use them as giveaways. This is the tall ship sampler. So if you're interested in this, say ship. And it's just the chart. Second one is another sampler company chart. This is lemon tree sampler. So cute. This is, if you're interested in this, say lemon. And then I mentioned this on one of my previous videos, that I have a chest full of completed projects. I do not have enough wall space to do something with all of these. So I am paring down quite a bit. And so I'm giving away some of my finished projects. And I'll talk about what I'm going to do with others in just a minute. But if you are interested in these are finished stitching but not FFO'd. I gave away 2 Halloween ones a couple of videos ago, and when the person received it, they're like, oh, I thought I was getting the chart. So they were happy to get the finished project. So you'll be getting the finished project. This is an older piece by Teresa. I think it's called the Magic Garden Sampler or Magical Garden Sampler. It's got that black chicken over there. It's so cute. When she designed this, she said she was inspired by the Johnny Depp version of, or should I say, anyway, the Willy Wonka movie. So if you're interested in this one, just say garden, and I'll send this piece to you. And then the other piece that I'm giving away is a Stacy Nash piece called Martha Agnes. So this is stitched on 32 count. I don't know what the fabric is, but Martha Agnes. And if you're interested in this, just say Martha. So those are the giveaways. Just make sure to make a comment and then mention the words of the ones that you're interested in. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is kind of a shop update. I do have an Etsy shop, Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy. And since about mid-March, I've been doing this special thing that I have a tab called Only One Left. So these are charts or items that I only have one left in my shop, or I think I only have one left in my shop. So I put it in that tab and they're 25% off. Some of them are things that I will reorder, others are things that I won't reorder. So it's kind of just, you know, a special area. This week through the end of, I think it's through Saturday, I'm doing 35% off of charts, selected charts from Hello from Liz Matthews. Who else is it? Lottie Da, and one other one. I can't remember, but there's an announcement at the top of my page, my Etsy shop, that mentions those. But you can, oh, I know, Leela Studios. So Leela Studios, Lottie Da, and Hello from Liz Matthews. Those are certain charts are 35% off. But in there you'll see an on sale tab on the left side, and it shows all the things, including the Only One Left items. But I'll be doing that through the rest of the summer, is just running sales that are a little higher than normal. I often do 20% off, but this time during the summer I'm going to be doing some better sales. So check that out. Do have a lot of fabric that came in. I've got some Picture This Plus, and what else came in? Picture This Plus, Be Stitch Me, and Fabrics by Stephanie. I got an order from her, and Fiber on a Whim. So lots of fabric. But it's just been a very calm summer. I've enjoyed the summer so far. It's been very nice. We worked out in the yard last weekend, and well, first of all, we got a whole new fence. So we bought a house that was built in the 80s. Apparently our fence is the same fence that's been there. Our neighbor, their fence was even in worse condition. It was like leaning into our yard. So we all got together. There were 4 of us, and we split the cost of getting our fences replaced. So our fence, we have a brand new fence around our backyard. It looks beautiful. I cleaned out the flower bed that has been neglected for the past year, put mulch down. We had hostas in the front of our house that are like in the blazing sun. I don't know why they planted them there. We dug all of those up and we moved them to a shaded area in the backyard. It looks so pretty. Like I mentioned earlier, we planted 3 hydrangeas. And then I planted up one of those green stalks. If you watch Priscilla and Chelsea, you know what I'm talking about. Well, I have 2 of those. I planted up one. I plan on planting up the other one this weekend. So just lots of fun stuff, because it's compared to working in the garden in Mississippi, working in the garden in Colorado is just like loving it. You sit out there and it's a little light breeze, you know, in the mornings. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's just lovely. So I guess grass is always greener, but we're just loving it, having a great time. Sally and Elvis Elvis was not happy because he couldn't go outside when the fence was going up. Elvis is our 20-something pound Maine Coon that loves to stay outside. Now he's just happy that he gets to go outside again. All right, I think I've talked enough. I hope everyone has a good weekend. We're going to cook out with the kids tomorrow, and then we're going to head down south to Pueblo, Colorado, because I have 5 gift cards that I've won in the Shop Hop last year that I have got to use before the end of July. So we're going to go spend some of my gift card money over the next weekend, I guess. So I hope everyone is doing well. Weather is okay where you are, and I hope you get a lot of stitching done. See you later.